Hello. I will be discussing my self-reflection questions. These are my videotaped self-evaluation questions for my English language scripted teaching lesson number 1. Number 1. How did the arrangement of the classroom, the flow of the classroom routines, and your interactions with the other teacher and students create an environment conducted for learning? In that particular classroom, desks are set up in groups of 4. There's 5 different sets of 4. I think this set up for small groups. The students helped each other with the groups. We also was accessible for a smart board that the general education teacher used, and a whiteboard that I used with charts, and that's how we conducted that style of learning. Number 2, were the objectives of the lesson clearly presented and appropriate for all students? Yes, they received a lesson overview at the beginning of the lesson, and it stated all the guidelines for all the students in the classroom. Number 3, were any instructional strategies chosen ineffectively? Elaborate on those that were ineffective. Actually, we did have one little kink. Me and the general education teacher planned out the lesson, but we did not. We didn't estimate how long the actual time it would take for each student to look up words. We had some students that looked up the words in the dictionary very fast. We had some others that slowed it down, but we modified during the lesson, and they were actually in the groups of the 4, and they would help their neighbor and such, tell what page they were on. The students had already found it, and then once we found it by tables, we could tell by the students raising their hands. Number 4, were all students actively and intelligently engaged in learning? How did you ensure they were engaged in learning activities used? Yes, we kept them all interested, engaged throughout the entire lesson, assessing their knowledge in different learning techniques. Each student has a different style of learning. Students helped their neighbors in groups during the lesson. Number 5, did you use questioning techniques to stimulate curiosity, encourage higher order thinking and problem solving, and reinforce learning? Yes. Once again, various learning techniques were used to accommodate different types of learners. We have diverse learners in that classroom. So yes, we use several different types to get the point of the lesson across. Then I asked several different types of questions. We got feedback from the entire class. The students were also hands-on during the lesson, and I checked all work and gave feedback to every student in the classroom. Was there an opportunity for students to evaluate or measure their success? Yes, they looked up several words. They answered several questions on several different passages. They actually answered 2 worksheets in a packet for their review for this week as well. And then we started on our homework as well. So there were several different types to measure their success, and they received feedback throughout the entire lesson by me and the cooperating teacher. Number 7, did you display any personal habits that may have distracted from student learning? Yes, as I watched the lesson after I taught it, as I watched the videotape, I realized that I would gaze at the teacher teaching throughout bits of the lesson for a few seconds at a time when I should have been engaged with the children. And that's something I'm going to work out throughout the semester and through my education career. Number 8, was there an equal ratio of teacher talk to student talk? I would say there's slightly more teacher talk, but we gave many opportunities for feedback throughout the class. We asked many questions. We got a lot of answers back. It was pretty close, but I would say the teacher did a little bit more. I started off the lesson by reading a fable, so I would say it was a little bit more listening to the teacher. And that's my evaluation questions. Thank you.